Hi guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Alexa, what's the time please? Alexa, what's the time?
It's 10:26 a.m.
Okay guys, so I took Max out before my mum Jennifer called me this morning. She's on the phone constantly to me. I've told her not to keep phoning, it's unnecessary, but she phones me at least 3 times a day. Yesterday was quite heated, as my mum said to the lady on the taxi rank phone. She said it's getting heated in here. And I was with my mum. My dad, Derek, passed away on the 25th of August, 2021. Whilst I was round my mum's yesterday, me, Crystal, got a Facebook message from somebody saying they were at Bluebell Hill. Now, Bluebell Hill Crematorium is where my father was cremated, and his ashes are supposed to be spread around Glade 16. And a rose and a plaque are at Bluebell Hill Cemetery Gardens with Derek Trower's name on. So my dad has been dead a year, and someone pretending that they are living in Bluebell Hill, that's not a nice thing to do. Now, they weren't texting my mother Jennifer, they were texting me, Jennifer's daughter. And it upset me. What do you think a bereaved woman who just lost her husband feel like if she just had a message saying that they were in Bluebell Hill? So they're talking to me, Jennifer's daughter. They think they're talking to my mum, who's got severe schizophrenia and is not getting adequate treatment, in my opinion. Okay, so this idiot or idiots think they're talking to my mother, but they're in fact talking to me. My mum had a worker called Ben. He was an Asian nurse, psychiatric nurse, and she told him that she didn't want him on her case anymore because he was too familiar. Now, too familiar means he was over-friendly. So apparently he was over-friendly to my mum Jennifer down here in Chatham, because when my mum was receiving psychiatric help, I was in Gloucestershire. I was married to my husband, who I'm now divorced from, and I had little children to look after. So Ben saw my mother. He injected my mum for 13 years with a psychiatric drug. Okay, she got rid of Ben, and apparently he didn't like it. And somehow this Ben got hold of details about me, because my mum, when I was in Gloucester, rang me up and said, Ben's gone through your medical records, Genestra. And he apparently worked at the Medway Maritime Hospital while I was in Gloucestershire. I gave birth to 2 of my sons at Gloucestershire Royal Hospital, which is in the centre of Gloucester, still there. So my mum was talking about Ben yesterday. Ben, rambling on about Ben, rambling on about being in hospital for 3 weeks, psychiatric hospital. Yesterday, when I get home, I've got a message from my doctors, mine, saying that I need a mental health checkup. Me, Genestra, Crystal, needs a mental health checkup. And my mum, I have never had a psychiatric nurse. I mean, most women feel a bit depressed after they give birth to a baby, which is what I had, and get depressed when they're constantly bullied, but I haven't got schizophrenia or paranoid delusions or any thoughts of grandeur. I don't think I'm anybody else. I know who I am. Right? So can we get that straight? So I wanted a nice quiet walk with my dog, and it was to start with. There was a builder dressed in yellow fluorescent gear and black trousers, bending down, putting getting decorative bark ready to plant near the flowers and the plants that are being planted. So decorative bark was all around the Rochester Riverside. Now that's expensive. It's more expensive than compost, right? So that this was done in the summer. They're doing it again. It costs a fortune, decorative bark. I'm happy. I'm walking along this. I don't feel stressed. I don't feel angry. I don't feel upset. I'm feeling quite cool, calm and collected, walking my little chihuahua. And I go onto the field. It's completely empty. No one on it. Builders are drilling. They're building the school. Go around the field, let Max off, and as soon as my mother rings, I go hot head to foot. I start to get stressed. She's not ringing to see how I am. She's ringing to tell me to be careful with my money that she gave me. I haven't got any money. The only reason I could put gas on is because my mum gave me some money. I've got no money in my bank account, nothing at all. There's no train journeys to Chatham today because I've got no money. It's purely to put the gas on and to get a bit of food in the shop. So I'm not going out buying stuff, right? Two men come onto the field. I'm a woman. I'm a small woman with a tiny little dog. So two men come on the field. One's got a hat on like my son wears, and two big black dogs. So I divert from that, go around. Then there's a woman with blonde hair on the field, and then that guy with the white dog is coming up the path. I just want to go home. I'm tired. Then two women came out near Costa Coffee with a little blonde boy, and Max is not a child-friendly dog, you know, so I picked Max up, took him around past the two ladies with the little blonde boy, walked on, and there's a guy with decorative bark in his barrow. Decorative bark, right? My gas has gone off. I've got a cancer hospital appointment. I am tired. Yesterday was horrible. I could have been home at 5 o'clock. I got home a lot later. It was an Indian taxi driver. Indian, because my mum had been talking about Ben. So the driver was Asian with a face mask over his face. And I was in the back. And he drove me round the back when my son used to drive round the back, didn't he? And helped me, but my son hasn't got a car anymore. I've never been able to drive. I've never owned a car. So I'm now in the flats. I've got to cool off, de-stress, and go out and put gas on my card. My mum asked me about my cancer appointment, and cancer is nothing. It's not funny. It's not something to be laughed at by childish, silly people. After she mentioned about my hospital appointment, there's an Indian man down there with a bald head on top, laughing on his mobile. And if anyone thinks cancer is funny, you're not normal. Or even being tested for it is scary. Okay? And it's not Jennifer going for a cancer check at the Medway Maritime Hospital, because this Ben shit is getting me down. Her and Ben. So Ben treated my mother Jennifer for schizophrenia. I've never met him. My dad took me and my mother to Elmsley House when my mum was having psychiatric treatment in 2008 with Selma Youssef and Ben and all that, the psychiatric team, and Ben was in the car park, and I think he briefly spoke to my dad Derek, a small short Indian man with a bald head. Okay? And on the wall was King Charles, as he is now, with Camilla. The royal family were on the walls of Elmsley House because they were at that time involved in mental health work. Okay? So can I tell you that I have never been diagnosed with schizophrenia? It's been anxiety and depression through bullying, and I lost my child in 2008. Right? No worker has got any permission to go down my notes when they're nothing to do with me. Now, there's been a lot of fuck-ups with the Medway Maritime Hospital. They let my sister have information that she shouldn't have had, right? And she was under 18 because they thought Amanda, my sister, was me. So they let Amanda know all about the death of my brother Dylan, and it fucked her in the head. Okay? And she went mad and upset because she was told things that only an adult should have known, and she was under 18. And I do know my sister Amanda had an abortion at 15 as well. I've never had an abortion. Amanda had an abortion when she was 15, so someone had underage sex with my sister. And I'm fed up with this bullshit. I'm fed up with people telling me off, treating me like shit, when other people have been getting away with murder. See you later.